Okay, we're out in Pasadena at the Robert Skinner house. Who are those original owners? You got to consult my the Schachters. Yeah, this is the Schachter house from 1965 by architect Robert Skinner, and got a big half-acre lot with these massive live oaks. You know, historic heritage live oaks, and beautiful post and beam structure, very horizontal with two wings. And some of the things I love about this house are the wall at the base, which used to be brick, the posts and beams, the horizontal soffit, and the extension of the roof line beyond the building envelope, where you get that one section of post and beam with the cantilevered roof. That's a really exciting composition to me.
Yeah, as we go in, we'll start to see the different layers that the house has. There's a lot of split levels, and really love it. I'm a sucker for split levels, as I am built-ins. But what's great about the house, I think for me, in terms of the floor plan, which we'll show, is the structure for the back house actually overlaps the structure for the lower house, and a beam comes across that top structure, and that it ends up being supported from a post from the back of the house on the front house. So it's got this nice little layer that it does, which we'll show. But,
yeah, it's kind of an interlocking thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like two volumes, but it's also doing it with structure.
True.
And you were saying that this was brick
originally. Yeah. And then I'm also picking up on that datum of the window mullion that continues on and forms the head of the door.
Yeah, fascinating.
This is wonderful. Very Japanese, the way this entry sort of flows out. You got these big boulders placed in the landscape. This does remind me of something you'd see in Kyoto, really.
So I do have one critique. It's not bad, but I was just telling Brian that I thought that when we go in, you guys can tell us. But I thought that this actually lines up with the top of the bookshelf, and I was thinking it should be one row down in terms of proportions, but you guys will let us know as we go in.
I think this was 10 feet tall. Really great original door, wonderful color, post and beam, and there's that datum that runs across the top of the wall. Mm-hmm. I think that's really wonderful. It's sort of an eccentric placement of that structural stringer. It could have been in the middle, but the stairs suspended from the wall on this side, and the stringer was moved to this side, and it just makes a more dynamic composition. Mm-hmm.
So this is where the structure from the back house, where the beam comes across, that beam is actually being held by this post here. So that's part of the layers overlap.
So we've got the cottage cheese acoustic ceiling in here, which I always want to immediately scrape and get rid of. And I was at Pierre Koenig's Beagle's house in the Palisades showing the home to Tom Ford, and he came in and said, "Don't touch that ceiling. It's what makes the house vintage." And so I really respect him as an intellectual and an architect by training and an aesthete. And so now whenever I see cottage cheese ceilings, I say, Tom Ford would save these.
So some of the things to note in here, we've got this cantilevered concrete ledge here. That's really nice. And then you guys will tell me, but I think that this should be one row down proportionally, all the way across, but I might be unpopular opinion.
I like groups of three, odd numbered things in design always feel more balanced to me than even numbered things. So I could see lowering it, but I would still want it subdivided into three, I think. But here's that brick from this original wall was this same brick, at least according to the renderings that we're looking at over here.
Mm-hmm. And again, if you look at the post and beam structure, both the beams cantilever on each side. It looks like it's almost equidistant on either side. And then, of course, you've got all the original glazing. It's on the doors. They've got like no mullions. They're just basically right up against all of the structure here. The beams do need some work, some TLC. So with the proper steward, they can come in and
restore that.
So this, again, is the kind of architecture that you can't do anymore. You know, this kind of architecture has been legislated out of existence from a structural perspective and a Title 24 energy perspective. You can't use single pane glass. You can't use these slender wood posts and beams. All of this would have to be a steel structure with double insulated glass, and it just gets really thick and clunky, and you don't have the clean, simple elegance of this kind of construction anymore, sadly.
Mm-hmm. And then if you look on either side, you've got a real indoor-outdoor existence, because you're just looking at trees here on the front end, and on the back end, you can have your private little outdoor space and outdoor seating. So it feels like you're outside to some degree.
Yeah, this space that you were commenting on earlier is an example of that, where your eye goes out to the tree in the garden. It's kind of a seamless indoor-outdoor condition, which is what this kind of mid-century modern architecture is really about.
Mm-hmm. This is where you need your Eames lounge chair.
That's true.
Reading a book.
That'd be perfect. Yeah. So we got some original stuff in the kitchen. So one thing I wanted to point out is actually this ceramic sculpture, which appears to be original, and these ceramic light fixtures, which definitely are original.
Original color, and then they have the doorway.
This is a great moment where you could see that this beam is being held up by the structure on the front house here, by that post.
That is really lovely.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a wonderful composition.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is sort of, like Rietveld, Rietveldian.
And again, you've got the classic indoor-outdoor.
This is the kind of stuff I'm happy to see. The original Formica countertop, this color scheme, the knife hinges, keep all this. This is what makes this house. And the original tile in the bathroom with the jalousie windows, I'm so happy to see that intact.
Mm-hmm. Each room seems to have some version of an outdoor space, which is great.
I think they're all like that. You're right. They're all oriented on an exterior space.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got the pool deck up here, which has a nice view looking back at the house. I love this salt finish concrete. That's one of my favorites. And again, you're in this canopy of live oaks. This is actually an olive, but I was imagining somebody like Terremoto coming in and revamping this landscape and really finishing out the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a shout out to Terremoto's work. They can take this and whip it into something just wonderful. It's really quiet out here. Yeah, I thought that might be it.
What do you think? We sell real estate, by the way.
Yeah. If anyone wants to buy this, let us know.